Hi, I'm Mike and welcome back to Our Wyoming Life, where today we're taking a look at haying and we're kind of doing a reverse deal here. We're starting out over here in the Arrowquip corral where we have a bale of feed that we're feeding these 3 cows, and this is where it all ends up. It's either fed in the field during the wintertime or even in the summer. Any cows that are in a corral, a feedlot, or anything like that, they have to be fed. And that all starts now in July when we go out and start haying. Now, we've been haying for about a week, but we kind of been dodging weather. So this is our very first haying dedicated video. Jeff and I are going to go out. We've got one field already cut, and we're going to be raking and baling that field. And then when we get that wrapped up, we're actually going to be moving over and starting to cut another field. It's kind of like a leapfrog type situation, and we're doing it backwards, like I said. So we're starting out here with this bale, and our next stop is going to be baling and the end of making this bale. And this is our baler, 568 John Deere baler, 5-foot baler, can go up to about 6 feet around. It's 5 feet wide, and we've had this baler since 2008. So this is a 15-year-old baler, and I hate to say it, but I came out here, started running it. I was going to make a bale, be able to show you guys how it works, and something broke inside the baler. So as of right now, the baler's not working at all, which kind of puts us in a little bit of a pickle. I'm going to go ahead, show you guys exactly what's happening here. So basically what happens is we drive this baler along. It's got pickup teeth on the bottom that spin, that pick up the hay off the ground. It's got these teeth underneath here that pick up the hay and get it up into the machine. Problem is, they stop spinning. So I'm gonna kick on the PTO at a very low speed. We're gonna try to track this through and see where the problem might be. It might be something we can fix. I kind of doubt it. We have had a recurring problem with this baler before. I'm gonna tell you about that. I have a feeling that's what it is again. We're now up here in the cab of the tractor. This is our baling computer. And as you can see, I got a bale up to 40.5 inches before something snapped back there. I heard an audible like clunk, which is never good when you're operating any machinery. But like I said, we're gonna kick it on a low RPM here and see if we can't figure out what's going on. The PTO spins a shaft, which then spins all the parts inside the baler. So this right here is our PTO control. We're running at 800 RPM. We're just gonna kick it on and let things start moving. It's really quiet, which is never a good sign. Let's get out and take a look. All right, so there's our PTO shaft. It's spinning. It comes into here and goes to a gearbox in the back. That gearbox is sitting right about here, and it shoots this way and spins this shaft, which it's not spinning at all. Nothing's moving in here, which tells me that something between this shaft and that PTO, and it's inside here, has busted. It's not the first time this has actually happened. This shaft is probably busted 4 or 5 times on us in the time that we've had this baler. I'm not sure if it's just a design flaw or what is exactly happening, but what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna kick the bale out that we have in here. There's no point in pulling it around. We're gonna have to push it out, roll it back out so that we can come and pick it back up once the baler's fixed. Jeff is out there in that field somewhere. He's still raking hay, and I'm gonna have to let him know what's going on as well. I'm a little leery about going and cutting more hay until we get the baler fixed. This stuff has been sitting on the ground for a couple days now. It's nice and dry. It's ready to be baled. Unfortunately, we don't have a baler. We can't do that. I am gonna go ahead and kick out this partial bale though, so watch out. I did notice something weird when I was kicking this out. When I opened up the back, everything kind of started moving again. So let's see if we can recreate that and figure out what's going on. We open it with this lever. And what happened when I opened it, things started moving. Or at least I thought they did. Maybe when I start to close it. Nope. Oh, there we go. So they are turning just a little bit as I open and close this gate, which is odd. I'm gonna have you watch it from in here. See what happens when I open and close the back gate. Okay, as you can see there, when I did open and close the back, it kind of caught that chain, got things moving just a little bit, but it's not gonna work. So the next thing I have to do is let everybody know what's going on. Probably Jeff, because he's gonna be out here for a little while raking. And then I gotta call John Deere about getting somebody out here to repair it. So I'm no mechanic. I can do the basic stuff, but when it comes to something like this, we'll definitely get a John Deere technician out here to make sure that it's done exactly the way it's supposed to be. How long that's gonna take, I really have no idea. So I don't feel like pushing that bale out right now. We'll come back and do that in a second. Let's run out, find Jeff out here in the rake, and let him know what's going on. There's our nice windrows waiting to be baled. They're gonna be waiting a little bit longer. Hey Jeff, can you pause for a second there?
While it's dry, then get some of this off first. Before you get the head lettuce wet, give it a dry shake to try and get some of those bugs off before it's wet.
Erin's up harvesting lettuce.
What happened?
Well, I don't have good news.
Uh-oh.
You remember that shaft that broke last year in the front?
Yeah.
Snapped again. I didn't even make one bale. Made it to 40.5 inches, and then it broke.
Well, I was going to ask you if you were going to plan on baling today at all, but I figured you were probably having a tough time.
I was having a little bit of a tough time. So I'm going to take it back. I'll leave the gator down here for you, and I'll call John Deere and see what we can do about getting somebody over here. But I'm leery about cutting now,
Yeah,
because we'll get way too far behind.
Just get dry and tear apart when we do bale it.
Right, so we've got 70 acres sitting here, which is potentially 140 bales.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go call John Deere and figure out what's going on.
Okay.
So you're good with raking?
Yep, I'll get this done here sometime today.
Okay, when you get done raking, just pull everything back to the house and we'll figure out what we're doing.
New game plan.
New game plan, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, Jeff took that pretty well. Whether or not Erin's gonna take it that well is a whole another matter, so. As long as we're here, we're gonna get this bale pushed out so that we can pick it back up whenever we do get the baler back up and running. I'll tell you, last year when they fixed this, it was right around 1,500 bucks, I think is what it cost. So we might, oh my gosh, this bale's heavy. complain a little bit about the fact that it was fixed last year. And now it's broken again. I can't move this dang thing. It's sitting up here so high. Whew. I tell you what, at 40 inches, this bale probably weighed 1,000 pounds. A lot of hay in here. That is probably the thing that I dislike the most about haying, is having to push out a bale, whether or not it doesn't wrap correctly or whatever else happens. Sometimes you have to push them out and it's no fun. The second worst thing about baling is when the baler breaks. So let's head back and we'll call John Deere along the way and see what we can figure out. You know it's bad when you got the John Deere dealership in your recent contacts or in your favorites. So we just broke our 568 baler again. It's the shaft, you know, after it goes through the PTO and hits that first, when it turns to the right, it's like a elbow. That shaft in between there and the first sprocket broke again. It's the same one that Nick replaced last year, and for some reason it keeps on happening like every year, and I cannot figure out why it keeps on breaking that single shaft. So I didn't know if you were going to have a baler guy coming this way anytime that could get us back up and running. Yeah, I didn't know your thoughts. I'll be here. Thanks, man. All right, bye-bye. I'm sure he is sick and tired of hearing from me. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Hopefully, they're going to come and help us out. He said that they could possibly have a technician over here tomorrow, so that'll get everything up and running, and then we can get back to baling. Obviously, this video has to come out on Thursday. We made a promise to you guys a long time ago that we would stick to our schedule. So what I'm going to do is kind of bring you guys along for another project that I've got going on today that I'm hoping will go a little bit better. Our Artsway mixer actually broke. So we are going to be working on that. I got to go get a new sprocket for it. But we're going to go ahead and park this thing by the shop so that when the John Deere technician does come out to look at it, he can get it back up and running. And then I'll show you what we're doing with the Artsway so that we're not hanging, you know, leaving you guys out to dry. And I'd like to have something running by the end of the day. So, yeah, I got a little bit farther to go. We'll be at the shop and moving on to our next project. Come on into the shop, I'll show you what's going on with the mixer. So this is our Artsway mixer. We've had it here on the ranch for about a year, and this is the first major breakdown that we've had with it, where it actually broke a portion of the shaft and sprocket. So let me see if I can show you exactly what's going on here. So there is a chain that runs from the main drive shaft, which is right here, through this sprocket, which is supposed to be on there, like so, back farther, but on there, and it runs up to drive the main auger right here. With that not on there, obviously nothing works. So I've actually got to get a new shaft, or a new sprocket housing, I don't know what it's called, onto that shaft, replace some pillow blocks, get the chain back on, and then hopefully we can get up and running. Shouldn't be too difficult, but it's just been a matter of getting the thing apart and finding time to do it when we're trying to hay at the same time. But we do need this because this is what mixes feed for our steers in the feedlot. So it's super important. And since I'm down with the baler, we might as well be productive. And here's what that sprocket looks like. So this is the original sprocket that was on there. It actually tore off the flange, everything kind of disintegrated, came apart. Not good. Here is the new flange we're going to put on. A little bit different. It's got 3 bolt holes in it and should work really well. That's the difference between 1962 technology and technology from now. So we're going to put this back together and hopefully we can make it work. Should work. There's plenty of room to work with here. Up and around. Maybe. Get our master link in here. Okay. That gets us all set there. Okay, now well, crap. Okay, I'm not doing well. So I broke the heads off 2 of these bolts and now they're buried in there. So, yep. So the next thing I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to pitch a fit, probably. Let me think here. Well, I broke off 2 of the bolts. I can at least get 1 of them out. And rethink this whole thing here for just a minute. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Hopefully I've got the John Deere mechanic coming tomorrow. I've got to do some thinking on this thing because now I got to get this taken apart again. And then put it back together again with 2 broken bolts. Yep. So, rather than start cussing or hooting or hollering or anything, I'm going to cut you guys loose for the day because not every day on the ranch is great. Not every day is perfect. Not every day ends with a happy ending. Sometimes we go to bed thinking about how to fix things or how to get to that next step. And I guess that's really where this leaves us. And we all do it, I think, that it's something that when your day doesn't go right, you go to bed, you're thinking about it, you wake up the next morning, you're thinking about it. You do come up with solutions, trust me, they do come eventually, but for right now, we're in a spot where I don't think I'm being that productive. I think I'm actually gonna cause more damage than I could if I just sat back a little bit, rethought the whole process. So I'm going to do that. We're going to return with our next video. Hopefully we'll be back up in hand. Hopefully the archway will be back up and running and I'll have a better day. And you know what, as always, I thank you guys for supporting us, being there for us, watching the videos, being Patreon supporters, buying beef and pork online, beef jerky, t-shirts, whatever else it may be. You guys are the ones that keep us going. And sometimes it's thanks to you guys that I realize I need to stop. So, with that thought in mind, I'll see you next time. And until then, have a great week and a great weekend. And thanks for joining us in our Wyoming life. I need an extractor, is what I need. Bolt extractor. That's what I need.